Today we're going to be working on the Colorado bed lights. It's probably a mod I should have done a long time ago, but here we are. So I bought these eBay ones. They come in a pack of 4 for each side for about 20 bucks. Since this is only a 6-foot bed, I'm going to use 3 lights, and let me show you where they are placed. I haven't tucked the wires away yet, but there's one under the rail here, one in the middle, and then one at the end. Now the wires tuck all the way up in there, if you can see, and then they drop down to where the bumper area is. I've done it to both sides, and now let's take a look underneath to see how that wires up. Underneath it gets a little bit tighter, but it's still not hard to work with. The OEM plug for it, if you have a 16 plus, is what should be located at this hole right here. I have unclipped it, so it is hanging right here. If you have a 16, you have the OEM pigtail with a little bit of wire hanging out, so you can do this and wire everything up. If you have an 18 and up, Chevy cheaped out a little bit. They gave you a blank plug with some rubber stoppers just so this doesn't get corroded. You can still use this plug, but you need to buy your own terminals, your own wire seals, and you can just reuse the wire from your bed light kit. Alright, so today's going to be more of a boring video, but I'm making an OEM plug to connect to the GM wiring harness that exits around the rear tail light area for the bed lights. I bought a set of Amazon bed lights, and in my 2018 GM decided to cheap out, and they didn't give me a plug with a 6-inch pigtail that terminates to nothing, and instead they give you a dummy plug that doesn't actually work. So I'm going to throw a link to all the parts below in the description below, but I had to buy the connector. I bought some extra terminals, bought a fancy crimping tool so I can get crimps like this with the weather pack seal on the end. So far it seems super easy to use. I bought this IWS 1424B, which does both weather pack and open barrel connectors, and hopefully this is the one tool that I need for all my automotive stuff, unless I need like Deutsch connectors. It's not a ratcheting mechanism, but it's spring loaded, and so far I've done one crimp and it worked pretty well, and I didn't ruin the terminal, and it is pretty dang secure. So I'm just gonna basically pin the OEM connector in, then I'm gonna test to make sure I have my polarity correct, and then get the rest of the bed lights connected up. It is freezing out, and that's why I'm doing this as a separate video. Anyways, I've gone ahead done a little bit extra, so you can see that there's black wire sleeving and heat shrink all around. You don't really need to do this, and you could easily just throw the wires in, use some butt connectors, electrical tape them up, and then your bed lights will work just fine. But this one's a little bit more complicated. I've done the solder seals. I don't know if I like them that much, but they don't look like they're going to be disconnecting or breaking anytime soon, so I'm happy about that. And that's about it. So you can see I have twisted the wires for the 2 lights from the bed, and then I'm going to solder seal it to this wire to the pigtail. Once everything's done, all you want to do is connect it up and test it. And to tuck the wire away, there is an OEM loom over here. So it would be your trailer harness, your backup lights, and your tail lights for the passenger side. I just wired that passenger side bed light along with it, and I just zip tied it along the harness. And it is a very, very clean install. And here is your final assembly. I gotta finish heat shrinking this and zip tie this all the way up. But if we jump in the bed, we have bed lights. Again, it is like about 2 o'clock right now, so these obviously aren't going to be very functional, but there you have it. Got my bed lights, my cargo lights, and that's a quick little afternoon project. So I'll throw a link in the video for all the little connectors I did for the OEM part, and thank you guys for watching.